Okay, 6 o'clock. Everybody ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. And we have the minutes of August 26th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of August 26th.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have, under bills for payment, we have warrants 6, 6P, and capital fund number 1.
I'll move that we approve warrant 6, 6P, and capital fund number 1. This is Geraldine.
And I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, capital fund 1 is the John Deere loader for $149,500. You're getting a deal. I think I had a loader like that one time, but and then the accounts payable is $11,407.06. So, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Visitors, public comments. Jean, are you here for an agenda item or?
Just here to listen to the new business about the reappraisal.
Okay, great. Moving on to the road foreman's report. The covered bridge. We got quite a lot of advice about the covered bridge steps going down to the water. And so what were people's thoughts about those?
Well, we met. Terry and I met with the loss control officer last week, and also with and Christine was there too, and we spent a fair amount of time looking at the steps, and we I think came to the conclusion that the removing the steps would make the bank unstable. And perhaps the best approach would be to leave the steps in place and put gravel, packed in gravel on there, so there's a path down to the water, to the beach. I think that was the that was what I got out of the discussion.
I agree with that. If they were to be replaced, we would then have to put in a handrail that went from the top all the way to the bottom, and we'd have to keep that up. And the only other thing is that we should still, we should still have a caution sign at the top, which Lee has put a temporary one in for now.
Oh, good, great.
Yeah, that was done before the holiday.
Excellent, good.
So point of clarification, the packed gravel is separate from where the steps are? It's a different path, or it's the same?
Same path.
So you pack gravel on top of those stones that were the steps?
Yeah. Yes.
And so you're not trying to make steps, you're just trying to make a path down there.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, that's different than what I was thinking.
But it's not, it's packed, so it's not gravelly. I mean, it's not,
Right.
You're not slipping on gravel. It's a packed gravel.
That's what we would want. Yes.
Yes.
Huh.
So,
To make it more natural.
okay, and Maria, and questions regarding gravel. What are your thoughts?
I'm assuming that Lee probably has some pretty decent gravel. And the reason why they're probably asking you to leave the steps is the steps are already there embedded into the bank, and that will continue to help hold the bank from erosion.
Okay.
If you pull the steps, then everything's loose. So my guess is that's probably why he recommended leaving the steps in place and just covering them. But pretty much anything that, as far as gravel that Lee puts there, as long as he can pack it and slope it so that it's not a steep slope, I think that's probably the way to go. And I don't know that, I mean, gravel, mean, he could use gravel, he could use SurePack, anything that's going to pack real solid. So
Okay.
And what would he pack it with?
a compactor.
And that
That's,
slope,
that's a mechanical. I don't know if the town has one or not, but he could certainly rent one. And it could be, I mean, he puts in culverts, he must compact the culverts.
Yeah. Right. I suppose
So
maybe.
I'd be surprised if we didn't have a compactor of some type. But I mean, he can certainly rent one. It's something that it's just I don't know. It's about a little bigger than a big vacuum cleaner. It's hard to describe it. It's a compactor. I mean, any one of the guys on the crew can run it. I've run one. And if he doesn't have one, he easily could rent one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So.
and has Lee heard this plan?
Yeah, I spoke to Lee briefly about it, that we were waiting for the letter to come down from Wade, and that was kind of the, we'd wait till we decided as a board, but, that was one of the plans, one of the ideas out there for us to go through.
Okay.
So do we want to, we've got the sign there. Is this something we want to, here we are after Labor Day. Do we want to maybe do this in the spring, or do we want to try to get it done before winter, and then if we have to touch it up again in the spring? Or
I was thinking that in the recommendation letter, that they asked us to do it prior to December, if I remember right.
Yes, we do have it. We have a suggested corrected date by December 1st.
Right.
Okay.
So I think probably it'd be something that Lee should probably get to after he takes care of that culvert on North Hollow.
Okay. All right. Great. So is everyone on board with this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. So we'll ask Lee to put this on his agenda and address it as time permits.
I will give him a call in the morning.
Great, good. Okay, well, that was easier than I thought. Moving on to the curb cut. Please approve this, I think.
I thought we had a recommendation from Lori that they were also putting in for a zoning permit, and so we may want to wait.
Okay.
On this one?
Yeah, you're right. Table it until the outcome of the zoning is done.
Next
Okay.
week, right? On the 15th.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, that's easy to do. And that brings us to correspondence for information. Is there anything there that you'd like to discuss?
Is there anybody that would like to go to that virtual information on Rescue Inc? I'm not going to be able to do
Yeah,
that one.
that's the same date as the DRB hearing, isn't it?
No, the DRB is the 15th,
Ah, okay. All
but I'm
right.
doing the DRB hearing.
Okay.
I mean, I always enjoy those. I find them quite instructive. David, have you ever attended a Rescue Inc. meeting?
No, I haven't. No.
They're pretty interesting. Learning about rescue. Is it Drew?
Hazelton.
Hazelton
Yeah.
usually does a pretty good presentation.
And is this going to be a Zoom sort of meeting, or?
It is Zoom. You
Yeah,
just
my
reply to that rescue email that we got, and then
Yep,
they'll send
yep.
you the information for the Zoom link.
Yep. Okay, great.
17th.
It's, what day is it? 17th?
Thursday, the 17th at 6.
I could probably join that Zoom meeting.
Well, if you would, I think you'd find it quite instructive. I'll do it if you don't, David. If for some reason you can't do it, let me know. I would like Dummerston to be represented.
Okay. Okay.
Great.
Okay, great. Thank you, David.
Right. You're welcome.
Anything else on that list?
I noticed that noted that the sheriff reported back about they're able to apprehend 7 speeders on East-West Road,
Ah, yes.
which is good in a pretty short period of time, and because I know that this goes on because I live right in the heart of the
Yeah.
speeding, so I was pleased to see that actually.
Yep. They also got the van they were looking for, which gave us numerous, they got them on numerous things up on Stickney Brook. So they've been actually quite busy and quite productive here in the last week.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, great. Good. Let's see. Correspondence for discussion and/or action. What about the Recreation Board? They had a question about our thoughts on their soccer season.
I thought that was back up to the since we leased it over, it's totally up to the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
You responded, right, Zeke?
no, I don't think I did.
Oh, I thought you did.
Let's see. I certainly can. So, yeah, I think they were looking for, as the legislative body in town, and in regards to the COVID issues, they were looking for what we thought. And if we think we should just pass it off to the school, then that's.
Yeah, I would trust their judgment. They're thinking about those issues much more deeply than we are in terms of kids and interactions and all of that. So.
Okay, great. I will get in touch with them if they're still looking for guidance. And,
great. We give them our grace.
send them in that direction.
Great.
Next, Eesha Williams had wanting to know about the broadband initiative that's going on and whether Dummerston is involved.
I emailed Chris Olson and
Yeah.
asked him. I haven't heard back from him.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that though in an email that we got previously, or in the email thread that Eesha had sent, was it Sue? Let's see. I'm sorry, just a moment here. Sue, S. Westa at wyndhamregional.org. I don't know who that is. But she said that, in fact, this is what she says, all towns within the Wyndham region, except Searsburg, Athens, Winhall, and Somerset, are participating in the Wyndham Regional Broadband Facility Study and Business Plan.
Yeah, I think Chris Olson and some other individuals have volunteered to, represent the town in those discussions, and
yeah,
and he occasionally sends us updates on what's going on.
Okay, so in terms of, isn't that the response for Mr. Williams, Eesha Williams, that in fact
that would be good. Yeah, I think that would be a good response. And if he has more questions, I think Chris Olson knows more about what's going on than anyone else that I know of in town.
Okay, good. I will do that. I'll follow up with Eesha.
Let's see. The Vermont Brewer, someone from the Vermont Brewers Association had an inquiry about a vendor event at the Scott Farm on October 3rd. And I recall maybe 10 years ago, there was a lot of discussion about special events and I think the planning board was trying to address a special events permit, but nothing came of that. It was a difficult can of worms to deal with. So my thought was that they have a Act 250 permit, and so as long as they're within the parameters of their Act 250 permit, I don't think we need to get involved. But what do other people think?
I don't really know.
Have they sought the town's approval or anything like that? Or?
I guess some towns have special event permits, so they're pretty much checking in with us. But
yeah,
to my
They still
knowledge,
need to file for a liquor permit though, right? If they're serving?
I don't know. She didn't mention anything about that, and if they did need one, I would suppose that would have been what they would have forwarded to us. Then we'd have a something definite to act on. But
And wouldn't it be Scott Farm that would apply for that? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess if you want, I can get back to her that the town doesn't have any special event permits, but we'd expect them to comply with all the permits, liquor permits, and make sure that they're doing that.
You can just contact back to Lori.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zeke, are you comfortable doing that, or would you prefer Maria did that?
Let's see. I guess I don't have any preference one way or the other.
Okay, good. If you don't have a preference and you'll do it, that's great.
Yeah, okay. All right. And if it develops that, okay, they need the permit or something, we'll see about doing that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's, any other thoughts on that one? Okay. New business, the reappraisal update. This is exciting. And Geraldine, do you want to maybe give us the
Yeah,
a
I should have one.
reappraisal, not a reappraisal, but review the information that you were able to.
Yeah, I wish I should have had that email in front of me. So as I said in the email to you all, I first spoke to Ed Clodfelter from NEMREC, and thanked him for his very comprehensive presentation, and we talked for a bit, and I said, it just was not acceptable to Dummerston to continue with a reappraisal where there wasn't even the possibility of going and doing interior assessments. And he said, well, by the end of the half hour or so, he said, well, I think I need to pass you to Jill at the state. And she works for VBR, valuation. What does that stand for?
No, it's PVR, property valuation, and then I don't know what the R was.
Okay.
She would know.
Property valuation office at the state. She and I had a really great conversation. She understood, our point of view. She's all about what are the recommendations coming from the state, and the fact that, well, it's a recommendation, it's not a requirement. So the state was not requiring NEMREC one way or the other. And so she said, well, I think you need to talk to Ernie. So at NEMREC. So she sent an email, and each of these people, so Ed sent an email introducing me to Jill at the PVR office at the state. And then Jill sent an email to Ernie, you know, introducing our conversation. And so they were both extremely helpful. And so then I had a conversation with Ernie, and he was very, you know, he was very good to talk with, and understood our, you know, concern, and said, well, I think we just have to change our protocols, and I'll meet with my staff, and then we'll send you an email with the updated protocols. So I never did get any email from him directly. But you all forwarded some language that reflected my conversation. So I don't, Jean, have you heard anything from Nate or anyone at NEMREC relative to any new protocols?
I haven't spoken with anyone, but I have, we receive a newsletter each month telling us the things that we need to do. In there, they had a paragraph about interior inspections. And I gave that information to Terry.
And I forwarded it around, Jean.
Okay.
Yes. So that is the only thing that I know anything about. Nate has not been in the office, and we haven't been in the office this week. We'll be there tomorrow. So I really can't help you in that category.
And do you have that in front of you, that newsletter?
Yes, I do.
Could you read that paragraph?
The interior inspections, PVR recommendations. Sure. You really,
Oh, so it's from PVR, it's not from NEMREC.
no, it's from PVR. They're all part of the same conglomerate.
Okay.
Okay. So then this is from the district advisor. So I mean, it's, you know, a trickle down effect. So do you want me to go forward and read it?
Please.
Okay. Our recommendation continues to be that interior inspections do not occur. This is not a requirement, nor is it an explicit part of the governor's sector-specific guidance, which currently reads, appraisers should use drive-by appraisals as an alternative to entering the home if possible. In accordance, we continue to keep our district advisors home and out of town offices unless absolutely necessary in an effort to reduce their and town officials' exposure to others. We will continue to revisit our recommendation as the situation warrants. For towns currently reappraising, we would recommend that the contractor and the town come back to the table to discuss this issue. The town and contractor should reach mutual agreement about how the remaining inspections will occur. This may include approaching property owners for interior inspections. None of the current executive order language forbid it. Assuming social distancing protocols, masks, hand washing, no touch, limited numbers, contact tracing, etc., are followed as outlined in the sector guidance. We are all doing all we can to navigate our way through this, and thankfully Vermont has done what appears to be an exceptional job in keeping COVID cases to a minimum. Part of that success lies in our pragmatic shared responsibility to follow the guidelines from the administration and Department of Health. We would encourage you all to continue to review the guidance from the administration, and we will certainly let you know if our recommendations change in any direction.
Okay, well, what that means to me is that I need to get back to Ernie, because what this says is that the contractor and the town need to reach a mutual agreement, and NEMREC is our contractor, right?
Yes.
Right.
And we don't have a mutual agreement established that I know of. Unless I missed an email. And Jean, you haven't heard any different protocol happening?
No, I haven't. I'm assuming that the next step would be for someone from the select board to contact Ed Plattfelter or whoever he needs to speak with in regard to getting the same views on the same plate.
Right. So anyone have other input or comments or, advice?
No, I thought you had made some good progress in your discussions that you were doing, and it seemed like they were amenable to the idea of interior inspections.
Yeah.
So let's just follow up on that.
Okay. All right.
See what their current thinking
I'll make
is.
sure to do that. I mean, everyone agreed with me, Ed, Jill, and Ernie, that if we're going to do interior inspections, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because of the weather. And, COVID means that more people are actually home. And Ernie was even coming up with some ideas of how to make it easier for a owner who doesn't want someone in their house to take some photos. He said, basically we need 3 photos: the kitchen, the bathroom, and the basement, and to then pass those photos to the appraiser.
Yeah.
To the
Okay.
and also he was going to, I think, spell out what the expectations were of an interior inspection. In ordinary circumstances, an interior inspection might take up to an hour. If somebody redid their basement and they have a 3rd floor attic space, or, that they've redone, they put in a new bathroom, all that kind of stuff. But, an interior inspection can also take 10 minutes.
Right.
And you've had somebody go in and check and confirm and whatnot. So I think that's a piece of it as well. And Ernie was a little worried about the contact tracing. And I said, well, it doesn't seem difficult when you go up to somebody's house to get their name and phone number. That could just be part of their protocol. I mean, heck, we go out to eat at a restaurant and the waiter or waitress, you have to give them your name and your phone number. So I don't think there are any privacy issues there. I think it's really for our own protection. So.
Okay. So I think we're making progress, and if you'll.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't, kind of foresee. I think probably it was partly that darn 3-day weekend, Terry. I
Tells you every
lost a
time.
day this week.
Yeah.
Someone
I've
got
been behind
3-day
ever
weekend?
since.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Any more on that? Okay, thanks very much, Carolyn.
Yeah, so Jean, do you have anything else that you want to say?
No, I just wanted to make sure that everybody had this been brought to their attention about this newsletter.
Yeah.
So, and to understand what happened with your progress, and to hopefully get some kind of guidance to go forward.
Confirmation, yeah, good.
Yes.
Okay,
Great.
well, I'll aim to do that tomorrow morning, first thing.
Great, good. Thank you. Let's see. Next on our agenda, discuss waiving the 1% interest for, this is regarding property tax payments, for 2 weeks for any taxpayer who presents a copy of their letter from the tax department telling them they will be receiving a homestead credit. So, I guess Lori and Charlotte think that this will make life a lot easier if we are just able to waive that interest penalty for the people that are still waiting to receive their homestead credit.
So do you want a motion so that we can then discuss it?
Yes, please.
So I would move that we waive the 1% interest for 2 weeks for any taxpayer who presents a copy of their letter from the tax department telling them that they will be receiving a homestead credit.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion?
I just have a question.
Sure.
I was assuming that the homestead letters usually go out the end of June, first part of July. Is there a reason that not all of those letters have gone out yet from the state?
Good question. You know, and I think Lori and Charlotte are the ones who are most in this. You know, they're the ones who requested this. So I don't have the answer to your question, Jean.
Okay, I can find out tomorrow when I go in, because I know I've already sent in the listing to the state of the people who have not filed their homestead.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor of waiving the 1% interest for 2 weeks to any taxpayer who presents a copy of their letter from the tax department telling them that they will be receiving a homestead credit?
Yep.
Aye.
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 Okay. Opposed? No, we're unanimous in our approval. Okay, great. We just need to let Charlotte and Lori know this.
I'll send Charlotte an email, Lori.
Great. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any other new business? Okay. Oh,
Oh, feels kind of like a normal select board meeting.
yeah.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
Right. So,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
great. Good. Well,
Good.
thanks.
All
And
right.
that,
Second?
Second.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thank you, everyone,
all right, see you Friday.
for our work
Yeah.
session. Yes, great.
Good night.
Thanks a lot. Good night.